I thought working the night shift would be easy. An empty building, no people, no noise, just me and the cameras. At first, everything was normal. Quiet hallways, dark offices, nothing moving. But at exactly 2:02 a.m., one of the cameras showed something standing in the hallway. A figure, not moving, just watching. I thought it was someone still inside the building, so I went to check. But when I reached the hallway, there was nothing there. No one. And that's when I realized something was wrong. Because when I came back to the security room, every single monitor was showing the same hallway, and the figure was now closer. That was the moment I understood. I was not alone in that building. It started as a job I didn't think twice about. Night shift security. A quiet building. No people. No stress. Just long hours. And silence. Exactly what I needed. The building was an old office complex on the edge of the city. During the day, it was full of employees, phones ringing, people talking, doors opening and closing. But at night, it was completely empty. Or at least, that's what I believed. My shift started at 11 p.m. By midnight, the last of the staff had already left. I locked the main entrance, checked the floors, and sat down in the security room. Rows of monitors showed every part of the building. Hallways, offices, stairwells. Everything looked normal. 12:30 a.m. Nothing. 1:15 a.m. Still quiet. I leaned back in my chair, scrolling through my phone, letting the silence fill the room. That's when I heard it. A sound, soft, but clear. Footsteps, coming from the hallway outside the security room. I froze. At first, I thought maybe someone had stayed late and forgotten to sign out. It happens sometimes. So I stood up, opened the door, and looked into the hallway. Empty. No one. The lights hummed softly overhead. Everything still. I stepped out, walked a few feet down the corridor. "Hello?" I called out. No response, just silence. I checked a few nearby offices. Empty. I went back to the security room, slightly uneasy now. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe it was just the building settling. I sat back down, but something felt off. The silence wasn't normal anymore. It felt heavy, like I was being watched. At 2:02 a.m., something appeared on one of the monitors. Camera 5, the third floor hallway. I leaned forward. At the far end of the hallway, there was a figure, standing still. My heart skipped. I zoomed in. The image blurred slightly, then focused. It looked like a person, tall, wearing dark clothes. But the strange part was, I had already checked that floor. No one was there. I grabbed my flashlight and headed for the stairs. Each step echoed as I climbed. The third floor was colder than the rest of the building. I reached the hallway where the camera had seen the figure, and nothing. Empty. No one. I walked to the end of the corridor, checked every office. Nothing. I stood there for a moment, trying to calm down. Then I went back downstairs. When I returned to the security room, my blood ran cold. The monitors were still on, but now, every camera showed the same hallway, the third floor, all of them. I didn't touch anything. I didn't change the cameras. But somehow, every screen was showing the same place. And in the middle of every screen, that figure was standing again. But this time, it was closer. My breathing became shallow. I stared at the monitors. The figure didn't move. It just stood there, watching. Then suddenly, one of the screens flickered. The image glitched, and for a split second, the figure's face became visible. It wasn't normal. Its eyes were completely dark, and its mouth was stretched into something that didn't look human. I didn't think. I just ran. I grabbed my keys and rushed toward the main exit, but when I reached the door, it wouldn't open. The lock was jammed, or something was holding it shut. I pulled harder. Nothing. Behind me, I heard it. Footsteps, slow, heavy, coming from the hallway. Closer, closer, closer. I turned around, and that's when I saw it. Standing at the end of the corridor, the same figure. But now, it wasn't on the screen. It was real, and it was inside the building, with me. I don't remember how I got out. I just remember running, pushing through the door, falling outside into the cold air, and not stopping until I reached the street. The next day, I quit the job. I never went back, and I never tried to find out what I saw that night. Because some things, you're not supposed to understand. Only one thing still haunts me. When I checked the time before I ran, it was exactly 3 a.m. And according to the building logs, every camera system had shut down at that exact moment, except one. The camera inside the security room. And in that footage, you can clearly see me running toward the exit, panicked, terrified. But that's not the part that scares me. The part that scares me is, right before I reached the door, something else walked past the camera behind me. Something tall, something dark, something that was never supposed to be there. And the worst part? It wasn't chasing me. It was just following.